Hey everyone. Sorry for a bit of a delay on the video where I was supposed to be teaching y'all how I use Dogme and how would use Dogme in a keyframe by itself and how I would personally use Dogme for different things. I kind of got caught up on some shit that happened yesterday. I don't want to go into detail, but today decided to make the video and let's get started. I went ahead off camera. I went ahead set everything up. We have the shader. Here's the shader. Everything's already set up for me because I went ahead and did it. So just make sure particle system use, turn this on. Very much a rookie mistake. Always turn on particle system use. So here, let me show you how I use docme shader. Now, there's a lot of things when it comes to docme shader that I love and hate. One thing I don't ever recommend using is Dogme's texture overlay settings. The only time I ever use it is for the texture array or its spreadsheet. aka gift to spreadsheet. Best thing probably on Dogme shader that you can do. It's how I did my blunted animation. If you have seen it, it's on my YouTube channel. If you've not, feel free to check it out. That's how I've done my blunted animation and a couple other ones I've done in the past, which will probably be put on YouTube later sometime in the future. I'll put those ones on YouTube for everyone to see. But most of them are a bit of my older ones, so you can go check those out. And I'll do this maybe one day. I'll teach how to use it. But for now, we're just going to get on to basic things I like about Dogme. And the one thing I love about Dogme is its rotation. Now we're going to turn on rotation settings. Turn off the speed. This is also another one I like turning on, the 3D rotation. Turn off the speed. Do toggle this one. So toggle that one on as well. So here we have a bit of like a rotation. And let me do this. I bet you it's not started up. And I think a shader is interrupting it. Yes, let me turn this off. That made sense. So I think it should be working. Yeah, we're good. Okay. All I do is turn off that animation. That animation is for another time. Y'all don't worry about it. But basically, we have a bit of a nice rotation you can do here. We have an orbit rotation X and orbit rotation Y. Very useful. Whoopsie. Here's a Y rotation. And the one thing I love about Dogme is it's got like a 3D rotation, which is very, very good, and I love it. I love Dogme's 3D rotation onto it. Rotation is nice. But the one thing about Dogme compared to Doppelganger shader, or Dope shader, as I would say, is that to do a full 360, your value actually needs to be the 360. Instead of like on Doppel, you only have to go up to 100 to do a complete circle. That's about the only difference, but it doesn't really matter. Its zoom settings, I do love the zoom settings. The fisheye is something that I feel like could be better. It's not the best fisheye in the world. I wish it was definitely a better fisheye, but I make use of it, and it's pretty decent if you know what you're doing with it. It's pretty good. You have your stretching, which could be useful or not be useful in a keyframe. Personally, I prefer going to the positive values more than I do the negative values. And honestly, positive values are the best to use. Zoom loop settings, I'm going to teach you how I set mine up. Turn off the speed, this to 16, put this to 5, put this back to 0. There you go. That's what I do. Now, some people could do this. You could do that as well. Make it a bit wider out so it goes way farther. Personally, I turn this off and I put this to 5. Reason why is you can make this look a lot better. Personally, I think it looks better when you have this off than on, because if you turn it on, you just have that, which is still cool, yes, but for personal opinion, I prefer like this. It's just my personal opinion. If you prefer it the other way, then so be it, go for it. Also, the random spread settings is something I love to do and love to use. So if you put this to 0, you get like a middle spread. And the one thing about it is rotation offset will rotate all of these, which is very, very useful for keyframes. I use it a lot in my Do You Care If I Stare keyframe that I made not too long ago. That one uses a random spread settings a lot. I love using it. It's one of my personal favorites. We have this spiral settings, which I personally don't ever really use. I think I've used it maybe a few times, but it could be something that someone could use or like. Never fucking center it. If you decide to center it, go for it. I don't care. Slice settings, possibly one of the best settings for all of Docme. Is it splice settings or split settings, whatever you want to call it. Personally, I just call it splice, like it's named. And yeah, it's at a pretty good setting. The one thing I don't like is its rotation for this. Now you can kind of use this as like a I don't know, a window wiper or something like that. If you were going for that kind of thing, you could do like this and like that. If you wanted to, I don't know, it's something you could do. Bots rotation. Here we do have as many splices or how many slices you want. So yeah, I normally keep it around 15. Honestly, just keep it at 15. I don't really use this much. I think the only time I actually used it, even though it is very useful, I do use this one most of the time because it's the most useful one in my opinion. If you can see, a lot of people do use this, especially like Callie. He loves using Docme shader, which is a very respectful reason. Here we have these ones, which I love turning these ones on just for like a background effect that constantly happens. So if you just turn off your, turn off your etch samples, you just have this. Some people end up leaving it there. Personally, I've done it before. It's whatever. Docme shake, personally not a big fan of it. I'm honestly not a big fan of how they have their shake set. Personally, I would probably go with something like, I don't know, let me think. I don't really work with Docme shake much. Personally, like I said, not really a fan of it. I'm probably just going to do something like this. Because I personally don't like the shake. The distortion is something I do like, though. The distortion on Dogme is honestly one of my favorite distortions. Now, one thing about it is put your frequency to probably like 5 or anywhere over. And just keyframe your distortion strength. Don't keyframe your frequency because it's going to look like shit. You don't keyframe that. You only keyframe the strength. And you can do some pretty weird things with it if you wanted to. But we're going to use this for today as well. Let's see what else we have. Flicker settings. Something very, very useful, I would say. Turn this to white. You have a white flash. You can use this as a white flash. Or if you need to like use it as something like maybe on a base hit and you want it to go dark and then go back, you can use this. Personally use Dope's edge glow, but let's say you don't have Dope and maybe you put this one on a like something like on a top layer, which I'll explain in another video. Then yeah, this would be a way to do it. Personally, I just use it for the white flashes. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use it for white flashes. And let's see what else we got here. We got Link. I love using this. It's a bit of like, think of like a shader. It's like a, fucking think of like a shader. These are shaders. But like, think of like a shader you would have on like the outside and just leave going constantly without like touching it or anything. That's what this really is. Personally, it's not really used very much. I don't really see it being used very much. No need for that. Edge glow is something weird. I personally feel like Doppel definitely has a better edge glow, but you could make something out of this. I'm going to use it today for effects. We're just going to use it for effects. Letterbots, I love having it over render so you don't have anything in your way. Anything like that. And personally, how I'd use and set these up, so I'll put this one to 4. Put these to 5. And I only use the letterbots control up here. So I'll put this at like 0.2. 0.2 is perfect. And I don't really touch anything else. It's about all I use, and I just touch the control. That's a 0. Vigilante, I don't use it much. Noise, I don't really use that one much either. I should put myself into another stir, but I don't care. And here we have the blur settings. Personally, I'm a big fan of Docme's blur. Love their blur. This is how I set it up. Turn this to 0. Turn this to 0 for keyframing, of course. And let's say you want like a rainbow effect. If you turn this on, do this, you can get a nice rainbow effect. Or if you wanted to actually outline everything, do that. You get like a nice like rainbow kind of effect. But don't do this. It'll just not work. You need to actually turn these off in order for the thing to work properly. It's weird, but it is what it is. Personally, I don't ever touch any of these. Ever. Like, I don't know. Maybe they could be used for something. Personally, I don't touch it. Like I said, I'm not going to touch texture. It's honestly useless. But here, we're just going to make something very simple today. Very, very simple stuff. And y'all already know the song, so I don't have to play it. And you already know how to do this, so I'm going to go ahead real quick, just get a little setup here. We're going to get our shake, do the same thing we normally do. I'm going to go only one out this time. Distortion, we're going to use distortion for today. Come back, go here, put it to like maybe 1. Yeah, or no. Let's do 0.5. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Edge glow, we're going to take this up, put it to probably higher. We'll put it on 10. Actually, no, 20. Put it on 20 for today. We're going to take the blur, put the blur up a bit. Whoopsie daisy. Don't want to do that. That'll be a little too much. No, that's fine. Come back here, put this to 0. Put this to 0. And of course, like we normally do, we're going to come. That sounded pretty sus. We're going to do this. This, come here, this one, come to the end of the keyframe, and end it. So let's play and see how it looks. Could be a better one, but since I'm only using one shader, it'll have to do for now. So that's about what we got. Let's make it a bit better, shall we? So let's turn down our zoom loop settings here. We're going to come here and let's do this. I have an idea. So we're going to come here, do that. We're going to come over here. We're going to make it go all the way out. About there. No, all the way out. Do we have a snare? We do kind of have a snare. We have a snare right here. So what we could do for a snare, come here, put this back to 0, come here, do this. Whoopsie daisy, don't want it that much, that'd be a little bad. Come here, do this, come back, put 0. Honestly, I'm gonna do this. We're going to come here. Since this is put to the value of 1, we're going to bring it back down. Come here. Put it back down to 0. Very plain. But let's fix it up. Let's add a bit of rotation to this. Make it better. Let's see how this looks. That looks a lot better. I like that. Looks way better than what it was. It's looking a lot better. Could be cleaned up a bit. Yeah, definitely could be cleaned up a bit more. I would say, and if you're ever using Dogme, don't really use it ever standalone by itself. Just use it with another shader like Lev Shader, especially Dope Shader. Goes really, really well with Dope Shader. Personal reasons, recommendation using always more than one. We're going to take this one out as well. We're going to have a bit of have a bit of fun here, shall we? Okay, we're gonna come back here, go back forwards with the value, and we're just gonna simply do this, come to 0 here. Since it goes out, I'm gonna go out as well. Go out more, come here, bring it in a bit, and go to the end keyframe and put it to a value of 0. Let's see. Not bad. Could be definitely cleaned up a bit. But let's do something maybe a bit smooth. We're going to mess with the orbit today. We're going to do this. Bring this to 0. Come here. Do this a bit more. Get over here. We're going to do this. That. Come here. We're going to make this to a negative value now. Back over here, we're going to positive it. Go into the positives here. About like that. And we're going to just 0 it out here at the end. See what we got. That was pretty smooth. I like it. Personally, I would bring this in a bit more. There you go. That's way better. Way better. Way better, yeah. I like that. That goes really good. Honestly, that's some very simple stuff you can do there with Docme shader. Like I said, where is my flickers? There they are. So this is what I would use flicker for. So let's come here. Flicker. Put it back to 0. Come here, put it back down to 0. There you go. Something very simple. A little flicker to add a little bit of taste to it. Make it look a lot better. Honestly, this isn't the best, but you know, this does pretty good. I do like it. I do not mind it. What we could do is maybe no. Let me think. Thinking mode has been activated. I'm trying to think. Maybe what can I do here? Ooh, I can do something like this. Hold up, I got you. I got y'all. Let's make something good here. We're gonna start with the edge rotation. Come here. I'll make this go up more. We'll make it go up all the way. Come here. Negative values. Negative values. Come back up. Where are you when I need you? There they are. Come here, put it to 0. See what this looks like. Not bad. Looking pretty good. Let's do something here. Let's use these. I love using these the flip, one of my favorite. Always put it to 0.5 unless you needed to completely flip, then put it to 1. Personally, I don't. So always keep it at 0.5. Put it back to 0 here. Put it to 0.5 here. And this should work beautifully. It's working beautifully. Come back a bit here. We're going to come back here a little bit. That's looking really good. Now let's add a little finishing touch to this, shall we? We're going to come here with our values. So we're going to mess with the letter bots. Put this to 1. We're going to come here, put it about here. We're going to make it go up more to here where it goes to 0.2. Come here. Make it go down a bit. This is all just for seeing how it looks. So I'm just getting the base stuff set up. Do this back up here. And then we're going to come over here. We're going to put this back up just a little bit. And we're going to 0.2. Let's see how this looks. That looks pretty good. That looks good. I do not mind that at all. But I would say that's basically it of how I use Docme. But if I were to say this is how I was use Docme standalone by itself, but personally, if I was y'all, always use Docme with another shader. Don't use it by itself. Never use it by itself. Use Doppel shader with it. Use Lev shader. Use any Timmy shader. Use something else with it. And most likely in the next episode, next video, I will be doing an old style of mine that is very simple, very easy to do, that will teach you the basics of movement. And now you can go check this old style out. It's on my YouTube channel. If you scroll down quite a bit to the bottom, you will see my old style that I used to do. It's just a lot of movement left and right, a lot of rotation, a lot of that. And it's honestly a style that is very, very, very simple, but anyone can do it. And it's just something simple that maybe, y'all that are struggling to figure out how to do, really advanced stuff, how to get out there and get to doing the really hard things, this could teach you how to do it very easily with a very easy thing. Now, the one thing about this style is it's not really good for fast songs. It's more for slower type songs. So a song like this is what it would be completely perfect with it. It would work beautifully. But that'll be the next episode, and I'll be definitely using a different song than this one. Hope y'all have an amazing day. Have a great night. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have a good one.